All right, this is going to be an instructional video for the setup process for the Hill Church Cleburne. So as you can see, I've already put up the pipe and drape, the stage, and I've set the speakers on the speaker stands and the monitors on the stage and set up the music stands and all of that. So these things are pretty basic. I figured these should be pretty self-explanatory. So what I really want to do with this video is help to point any volunteers in the direction of how to plug things in and get them ready to go for Sunday morning. Also, I have ran the snake from this to behind the stage. I'll show you that here in a little bit. The snake is in here, which is where the soundboard is, and it's tucked away down there, so you can just unroll it and run it up there. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to plug in the first two connections. The first major connection that you need is between these two speakers, okay? So these are this is a sub, and that's our main out there, our house speaker. So basically, every time we tear down, I try to make sure that this small, it's a very short XLR cable is tucked away in that little crevice there, okay? Because all it does is connect these two speakers. So we're gonna need to take one end and plug it up here, and that end's gonna be this guy, the male end, okay? So we're gonna plug that guy in here, and then we're gonna take the female end and plug it in right here on the, there's 4 channels here. We always just use the input 1. So we're gonna go right there with that. All right, and you just do the same on the other side. Next, you wanna make sure that you have this power supply here plugged into the wall, because that's where everything's getting powered from here at the stage. 2 of these squid power supply things, one for each side. So I try to keep them all together when we tear down so that you're not constantly having to replug in a bunch of stuff. So each of them will have 3 of these plugs here. And then the one on the side where the keyboard is will also have the keyboard power supply as well. So what you're gonna wanna do is take this first and go plug it into our yellow power supply up here. Okay, I'm gonna plug it in there, all right? And then you're gonna take each part of this squid here, and you're gonna plug in this sub on the bottom, the speaker up here, and I haven't yet plugged in, by the way, the audio cable that connects the two, but that needs to be done as well. And then you plug in the monitor with this, and you do that on both sides. We have all the power connected. We're going to plug in the speakers and monitors, and these 4 cords are all you need for that. These are very high quality 1/4-inch speaker cables, and they're all the same length. And so basically you'll be running one out to the mains, so that'd be 2 actually, one on each side out to the mains and one on each side to the monitors, and I'll show you how to do that now. All right, I'll show you how to connect the mains. Now, since we've already connected these 2 together, you don't have to put anything into this top speaker. We're only needing to connect this sub right here. So we're gonna take our 1/4-inch end here, and we're gonna plug it into the bottom part here, this where it says line input, right here, okay? So that's gonna connect both speakers there to the main output. So now let's take this cord and run it back here to the snake. And what we're gonna do, I've labeled the snake so as to make it a little bit easier. But all the mic inputs are up here. The speaker inputs are here. So H1 and H2 stand for house 1, house 2. M1 and M2 stand for monitor 1 and monitor 2. This that's on this side of the stage by the keyboard is H1 or house 1. So we're just gonna plug that right into there. And that is how you connect the mains or the house speakers. All right, now for the monitors, same process. We're doing the same side right now. So I'm gonna go down here to this wedge monitor and flip it over real quick. And we're gonna plug into here wherever that letter is. That's from an old labeling system, but anyway, we'll plug in right there. And then we're going to run the rest of this cord back here to the snake again. And we're going to connect it to M1, because that's the same side here next to the keyboard. That's monitor 1. So we're gonna connect right there. And then you just simply repeat that for the other side. Okay, now we're gonna connect the instruments here. And you have to connect the instruments with these DI boxes. So one of them's labeled that the keys go into, the other two are not. So simple way is this blue one here, the other blue one is for the drums, the electric drums, and this green one is for the acoustic guitar. These two are active and this one is passive. So those are really the only differences there. Okay, so to connect them, what you need is these XLR cables, and on one side you plug that XLR in there, and then you run a 1/4-inch cable, which we have several in there, from the part that says input, not through, to the instrument. So like this, I would just run one of the 1/4-inch cables, and if you don't know what that is, that's the one that's not like this, but it's just like a point like that. Run that to the keys. In the back of the keyboard, there's a section that I'll show you right here that says AD input. You're going to want to plug it into the left side here, this one. So that's with with the acoustic guitar one. It's like stereo, but I always just go for the left side. So I plug the left side in here and then come out of the left here. Remember, the input, not the through. And so that's how you connect those. I'll kind of show you what it looks like with one of them really quick. Okay, as of right now, we have 3 mics that we set up every week. This is mic number 1, or the one I typically use. This is mic number, this is actually plugged into number 5 on the snake, but this is the one that John typically sings out of. And this is mic number 2 on the snake, or it's in channel number 2. And this is the one Charity normally sings from. Okay, so as you can kind of see labeled on the board, the mics will go in. Mine will go here, number 1. Charity's will go here, number 2. And John's is set up here at number 5. So I'll quickly just kind of set one up for you. Take this cable here, and we're going to plug this into number 1, because I'm going to set it up with my mic. So push it in until you hear a click. Then take the other end, the female end, and snap it on in until you hear, oops, sorry for the shakiness. Snap it on in until you hear a click there. And you just repeat that process with the other mics. And that is basically how you set up everything up here as far as plugging it in and getting things ready to go for church. After I get everything set up, I take the chairs out and then put all this stuff in there for the time being, and then set up chairs. But yeah, that is the basic way we set up church here at the Hill. Hope this instructional video is helpful.